Let's start the slip knot this time. And chain 3. Back into the beginning chain, we'll make 12 double crochets. 12. So back into that first top of the loop, grab the two strands, slip stitch through the strands and through the loop on your hook. Now you can tighten your chain, just give it a little tug so it can close the hole here, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. This helps prevent gaps that gonna form. So now after the first row we're gonna be increasing into each stitch. So start with chain 2, yarn over and do a double crochet into the base of the same stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And on this row every stitch will get 2 double crochets for a total of 24. So let's count our stitches. We will count the first chain as a double crochet, slip stitch at the top of the chain here, grab your 2 strands, pull through them and pull through the loop on your hook. So this is your first slip stitch here, you're closing your round, and then into that next stitch you do another slip stitch. And now chain 2, yarn over and do a double crochet into that same stitch. So here we increased. The next stitch will get only 1 double crochet, and after that we'll have another increase. 2 double crochets into that next stitch. So the next stitch will get 1 double crochet, and then we will increase again 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So we'll repeat that till the end of the round, till we have 36 stitches. So after we are done with this row of increases, we go again at the top of the stitch of the chain. We do a slip stitch there, and then slip stitch into the next stitch, and then chain 3. We are starting the next row. So mathematically, in order to make a flat circle, this is how we have to increase each row. We increased in the previous row of 1 stitch, 1 increase, 1 stitch, 1 increase. In the next row, we will have 1 increase, so we'll have 2 stitches in the same stitch, and then 2 stitches into the next 2 stitches. So only actually 1 stitch into the next stitch, and then 1 stitch into the next stitch. So we have 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, increase. So this is how our circle will grow. And then we have 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then an increase. So this is how every circle will be worked, no matter is it for a hat, is it for a bag, is it for some kind of another project you need a flat circle. So we will keep going and creating that circle till you have a diameter of the crown of your head for the size you need. So for my hat, I'm doing a 7 inches diameter for the crown of the hat. Once I reach 7 inches, I will stop and I'll just crochet the regular number of stitches I reach. So here is 7 inches for the crown. I will measure this going through the middle of my circle. Once it measures 7 inches, I will stop increasing. And the increasing goes pretty easy. So we started the first row with chain 3 and 11 double crochets for a total of 12 double crochets. The second row was increase in every stitch, so we got 24. Then we had an increase and 1 double crochet into the next stitch, which made them 36. We are increasing with 12 stitches each row. Then the next row will be starting with increase, 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and we'll have 48. And then the next row will be increase, and this will repeat each time. Increase, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet. So each time we're increasing with 1 double crochets between the increased stitches. So here we'll have 60 stitches. And then I will keep working because I still haven't reached the 7 inches here. So I'll meet you when I'm done and I'll measure again. So I did actually have to go to one more row of increases and then 4 double crochets between the next increase for a total of 72 stitches. And that's where I ended up being 7 inches for the crown of my head. So once you fold your circle and you measure it 7 inches across, you're ready to just continue your bucket hat without any increases. So another 10 rows, so from row 17 till 26, I just did double crochets all around for 72 stitches. So when the hat reached 7 inches, I increased just 1 stitch every other stitch. So here row 27 was increase and 1 double crochet and then increase. So check the description box for the different sizes and their measurements. So for my 3 rows made 1.5 inches. So I knew where to start my brim. So the whole hat would be 8.5 inches for my size. I have a small head, so I'm doing a small adult hat, and the total length of that adult hat is 8.5 inches. So at about 7 inches, I stopped and I did my increase for the brim so I can have a little bucket hat. But if you do want to continue straight and just have a couple of rows of ribbing, you can stop again at 7 and do 3 rows of ribbing while measuring how many rows make 1 inch. For me, 2 rows made 1 inch. And if I wanted a longer brim, I would have started a little bit higher. If not, this worked as well. It just gives me tiny bit, a little space for my hair to poof at the bottom, and it just lays flat and soft and cuddly. So that's pretty much how the brim happened. And then after that, a row of increases, that 27th row, row 28 and 29, they were just plain rows, no increases here. So that's how it went all around. And then I finished the one last row of just slip stitches to give it a little bit more of definition and firmness to the edge, but that's completely optional. A slip stitch is just going through the stitch. So grab some yarn from under the 2 strands of your stitch, pull that loop through the loop on your hook, and go all around your hat just like that. And this is how I will finish the hat here. And this is how it turns into a little bucket hat with a very, very slight flare. So you can do any size you want, you can use any yarn you want. Go by measurement, not by the number of stitches or the number of rows, because every yarn will be different. Even if I use a smaller hook with the same yarn, I will have different number of stitches and rows. So the easiest way is to use that chart I'm going to leave here in the video or in the description below with the measurements for different types of hats, starting from babies to adults X large hats. And with that technique of having a slip stitch into that first stitch of the row, it almost eliminates any harsh transitions to the next row. So I really like that. My grandma used to do this, so I learned it from her.